It's really cool to just have people in their 20s in general on this platform to, talk about real life shit that people who are 20 years old, have to deal with.
Yes, yes. Welcome back to another weekly edition of ISZ. Thank you guys, as always, for tuning in on YouTube, checking us out on all your podcast platforms. We appreciate you guys. Right now, I'm joined by a very, very dope guest. Someone I spoke with before. I speak very highly of him. If you're a fan of the show, you've definitely heard me talk to him before, man. But it's always good to have you back. 8matiklogan in the building.
My dog, what's popping?
Not much, man. How you feeling?
Feeling good, man. Project just dropped, so
Yes, sir.
just feel good. Just feel like a ton of momentum building up, and just trying to keep building on it.
Yeah, it probably feels like a weight off your shoulders, especially after this year.
Yeah, no.
Okay.
I don't even look at it I didn't look at it like that. Like it wasn't. So for 888, it was just something that kind of happened.
Mm-hmm.
I was just making records and had records in the tuck. Like I was just chilling and just decided to do it. So there wasn't really no pressure, no expectations. It was just let's just keep going, you know?
Right.
So that's really the way that I approached it. It's just keep going. I dropped it. I don't feel I definitely don't feel like a weight has been lifted. I feel like there's more. I feel like when you keep doing shit, more pressure gets put on you. The expectations and the standard, the bar keeps getting higher.
Mm-hmm.
So if anything, you're adding more. You know what I'm saying? You probably adding more pressure. So especially if you drop something fire.
Yeah.
Got dope project, dope merch. So I feel like, with the next shit I put out or the next whatever I do next, I just got to keep taking it to another level.
How does it feel always raising the bar for yourself?
My bad. I just ate a whole Skittle.
I saw it. It's cool. I saw it.
Kind of like a blessing and a curse because I know no matter what, I'll never be settled with mediocrity. I'll never be complacent or content. But it's what are you chasing? Because if you're never gonna, it's almost like you're chasing something that doesn't exist. If you know you're never gonna attain it, what are you chasing? So it's kind of like a double-edged sword.
Yeah. Because it always feel like you're beating yourself up or you defeating yourself. And it almost feels like you can't be satisfied with just that one option of just being okay, I got this,
Mm-hmm. No, for sure. I gotta always it's like anything else, like a tug and pull. You know what I'm saying? You have to be in it all the way and just be prepared for anything. So,
do you ever get pre-drop anxieties when it comes to music?
Hell yeah. Anytime you not just dropping music, but anytime you put yourself out there for people to see, you know what I'm saying, or people to hear or whatever, there's anxiety, especially somebody like me who naturally just already has anxiety. So anytime I do anything like that and showcase my abilities or put myself out there, there's definitely anxiety.
Have you found better ways to kind of deal with it in a sense?
One thing that I'm learning is just to keep confronting shit head on and just battling day to day, day in, day out. Just keep fighting and don't ever my bad.
You're all good.
Don't ever give up. Just always keep fighting. So that's one thing that I'm you always hear that cliche, but that's something that I'm really starting to understand.
Mm-hmm. Now, if you can, tell me about a point in your life when your anxiety was the highest.
Right now it's pretty high. Last year was pretty high when I was trying to get on my deal. It was crazy. Probably obviously going through Xanax withdrawals, my anxiety was abnormally fucking severe. You know what I'm saying? So it's just something that I deal with, bro. I wouldn't say I don't know. I would have to really sit here and reflect to tell you one specific part that was,
Okay, no, I completely understand. Did the pandemic affect it at all?
I wouldn't say the pandemic really necessarily affected the way that I feel. I think it affected the way I feel about people. I don't think people are so smart. I don't think people are doing the right things that we need to be doing as a species.
Mm-hmm.
So I definitely feel like it impacted the way I think about people and see society. But other than that, I've never been in at the beginning of the pandemic, I was oh shit, what the fuck is going on? And now it's okay, I kind of see what's going on here.
Yeah.
You know?
At first, for me, the pandemic. But to get to the anxiety thing real quick, like my anxiety gets the highest when like there's a bunch of question marks as to what's about to happen.
Oh,
if I
yeah.
don't know what's about to happen.
Uncertainty would, yeah.
And especially if it's something that you care about. Like today, I described my day to you. Like you know, we got the distance to get here, and then my one guy canceled. Then my other guy works for a school, so it's a bad balance. So now he's back working now, and then I'm coming here, and then the microphone wasn't working. So all that shit was like I'm trying to keep it cool because at the end of the day, my mindset is like I'm trying to adapt and say it could always be worse.
Yeah.
Because I feel like sometimes as humans, we look at things no matter how big and how small. We only focus on what's in the moment instead of looking at the bigger picture and realize shit could be way worse. And I think that's what like sweats us out the most.
Yeah. It's all about I tell people this all the time. Life is all about perspective and perception. Like those two P's in specific are huge. You know, the way you see things and the way you receive things. So definitely.
And you know, it's crazy. The pandemic did a lot for people's like anxiety, not freaking out. I was calm.
Yeah, once they told me like you have to stay in the crib and like nobody's getting penalized for it, and it's like I was like, you know what? Yeah, let's just chill. And like I started working on myself, and that felt really good.
Yeah,
I hope more people did that.
Oh no, I completely agree. I hope more people did that too. It almost felt like if you had this time, and I know I'm not trying to get into like LLC Twitter talking shit, where they're just like you gotta be better and own it, you know, that bullshit. But I think that if you didn't use this time to get something, like if something was nagging, you're always like, I want to do something, I want to do this, I want to do this.
Yeah.
But now you had the opportunity to do it, and you didn't do it. I don't want to hear shit from you anymore.
Yeah, it's a lot of people. Unless like, here's the thing, I'm with that 100%.
Okay.
With the exception of the people who actually like went through some crazy shit. Like if you got sick and lost somebody, or like if some like lost your job and you got no money, like that if you have a viable excuse, then I'll feel it. But yeah, if you just sat around like depressed because you got to be at home, like of the reality of the world, like we all are right now. So I think if you wasted that time, I think people are gonna regret that.
Oh, definitely. Prime pandemic, like, so we talking March. First of all, the pandemic wasn't even real. We always see things about in other countries about, oh, this virus and this and all this. We've always seen shit like that. So for me, I was kind of like, oh, it's whatever. But then it hit real for me when, like, we don't always realize stuff until it hits home. So when the NBA got canceled, I was fucked up.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna lie. I know that's horrible because people were
no, that's real shit.
But it's just like the way news and media is structured. I did not tune into all those people dying.
That's when once the NBA like shit happened, that's when I was like, okay, there's something going on. Not necessarily a crazy ass, you know, virus or whatever the case may be, what's at the surface, what it looks like.
Yeah.
But once these billion-dollar corporations start folding, there's something going on like that we just will never know.
Yeah.
It's just way bigger than us. Like, regardless of what your opinion is, you know, we got conspiracy theories, we got all type of shit. I do think that people like the NBA, what are you gonna do? You have to shut down. Like there's a virus going around. Like, come on, bro.
Priorities.
Yeah, you like the world you just have to do all this shit. So, but I do think that there's something like way bigger going on that we could see. We might not even be here when this shit like actually like you know how long they take to like really plan some of these like the world like transitions and shit like that. So, but yeah, that's just my little spin on that.
Would you ever call yourself a conspiracy theorist?
If people want to call me that, that's fine. I'm a truth seeker.
Okay.
So like, I don't like being lied to. I don't like people fooling me. I don't like people manipulating me and leading me on, and then I get blindsided. You know, so I don't think that everything is a conspiracy. I don't think every time someone raises a question of, is this a conspiracy, you should believe it. I think you should do you should put in a significant amount of research, time and energy and research if you really are that passionate about something. But the people that also believe that every conspiracy is wrong also make no sense to me because that's not possible.
Facts.
Because now you're just being as ignorant as the people that you are
talking shit about.
So against.
Right.
So like everything else, man, there's a balance to it, but I wouldn't consider myself a conspiracy theorist. Like there's some real delusional people out here that are like, okay, you kind of need some help. Me, people might have their opinions on me, but I just want the truth. And I just want people to sit with the truth. I don't like millions of people being lied to. Ever. Not now, not 50 years ago, not 100 years from now. Like, Just the way I.
No, I hear you, and it begs a few questions. So it's like, do we really like want to know the truth?
I do.
But see, at the same time, it's like sometimes ignorance is bliss,
For sure.
depending on what it could be.
For sure.
So you would hate to hear like you remember when the Pizzagate thing was really, out and open, that was really trending and people were like looking into that. Like that's one thing where it's just like, that's horrible that it's happening and that news should be talked about, but it's just like, damn, like that really sucks to hear,
But you got to hear it and we got to face that because people are doing that to other people.
Yeah.
And that is not okay, whether we see it or not. We can't turn a blind eye to something because it rubs us the wrong way.
Correct, absolutely.
And yeah. So I think, shit like the Pizzagate and all that shit, man.
Shit
Those
is
are
disgusting.
powerful people doing shit like that. It's like, get that shit out of here, bro. Like, there's no place for that. That's what I'm all about. Like, I just want people to be honest and truthful, bro. Like, sometimes the truth hurts. It could fucking cut through a fucking cylinder of concrete. You know what I'm saying? It could fucking pierce it. Like, for real. The truth hurts. But get that out the way. You know what I'm saying? Like, if you look at the human life, especially life expectancy of minorities or people like just say Americans, with us being so unhealthy, it just keeps getting shorter. And then like, for specific, like I said, races or whatever, all the different types of demographics, it just keeps getting shorter. So if I'm only here for 50 years, if I only got 60 years, and then you take out your childhood, so how many conscious years do you have? If I'm only here for this little period of time, who knows what's after? Tell me the fucking truth. Like, I want to be here. I want to know what I'm what I'm involved in. Like, some people are just existing and then they die, and then it's like, I'm not telling anybody how to live their life, but for me, I want to know this shit. Like, if we talking to the aliens, folks, bro, let me know. Like, because I've been thinking about this forever. You know what I'm saying? Like, I was reading, actually, I didn't hear this in a book. I was watching a lesson on, damn, I forgot what the hell this dude's name is. He writes hella,
it's about aliens?
No, he writes novels, action novels and shit, thrillers, super famous.
You got a name of a book?
Oh man, why am I blanking on his name right now? But he told me that he didn't tell me in his class, he does like these classes. So I was watching it and he said that
Neil deGrasse Tyson?
No.
Okay.
No, but I do watch his too.
His masterclass?
Yeah, for sure.
I always want to pay for masterclass, but like it looks cool.
No, do it. I do all type of shit to like stroke that educational, stimulate that educational, urge. But yeah, do it.
Okay.
Masterclass is a great investment, bro. Okay. That's actually where I heard this shit. Like, I forgot dude's name though, but he was just saying that, when he writes action books or when he gets into like the psychological thrillers, he really likes to do research. And so he contacted like, one time he met like somebody in the Secret Service and he contacted them and he was like, I just have a question about like a fantasy.
Yeah.
Like, how would this, like, just a hypothetical. He was like, is this possible? Like, would this be possible? And dude's like, look, I'm gonna just stop you right here. If you could think about it, we've already done it. Period. Regardless of what it is. And he was like, that was the end of the conversation. And I was just like, damn. If you could just merely think about it, they been did it. Like, tried it at least. Yeah. So he said when he heard that, he like scrapped all his ideas and just started writing whatever the fuck he wanted because there's no limits. You know what I'm saying? When you sit here and try to limit, like, does this make sense? You think this could be possible? Like, nah, fuck that. Just do whatever you want. Yeah. Because anything is possible.
Yeah. Do you remember any of the ideas that he wrote down?
No, it was like how he got to the book that he was talking about.
Oh, okay,
I don't remember the book or like I can't even remember his fucking name. But
it's gonna hit you once you leave.
Yeah, no, for sure. I could open up my masterclass and look, but
yeah. Masterclass seems kind of dope though. When I had hoop dreams, I thought about getting Steph Curry's masterclass.
Yeah,
but no, I ain't.
So masterclass been around for a minute or something?
It's been around for some years. I remember seeing the first ad for masterclass on Snapchat.
Okay,
it was for Steph Curry's thing, and the thing is when you look for stuff and learning, because you were talking about education, when you look at stuff online, especially now because everything's online. And you look at stuff and you're like, oh, I want to do this, or oh, well, how can I buy into this or do this? You're always worried about what's a scam and what's not.
Yeah.
So they do a good job of making these ads cater to these people's faces to actually do it. It just looks very interesting. I just never put the forethought to it. So like I get my education from like I pick things. Like me and you have talked before,
Mm-hmm.
and you know how my music taste is. It's very like, you know, like J. Cole-ish or whatever. So like my latest thing I've been trying to better myself on is music.
Mm-hmm.
Have you learned any new music this past year at all?
So yeah, this year I like to I like dove into other genres listening. But so I took that master class that Alicia Keys put on there. I took the master class that St. Vincent put to kind of I did a Dead Mouse. Shout out to them.
Timberland did one too.
Timberland, I'm about to get to his soon. Usher got some shit too. Like a bunch of them got a bunch on there. So but yeah, they kind of helped me like study songwriting. So when I listen to those classes or watch those classes, I kind of go listen to their catalogs or discographies and just kind of see what they was talking about. So people I'm studying, like artists that I'm studying at the moment, I definitely go listen to their shit. I listened to Nirvana for the first time like this year or last year, 2020. I listened to like listened to a bunch of shit. My favorite type of music like for like the year is Christmas music. So I learned a lot of new Christmas songs this year. So yeah. I just like
go ahead.
No, I was gonna say I just like the environment, like the energy.
Oh, Christmas is definitely good energy, but you're the first person I say that their favorite kind of music, Christmas music, though.
Well, for like, not to listen to every time, but just around Christmas, when I listen to Christmas music around Christmas in that area, I'm just so happy. It's like perfect. Yeah. Like, yeah, you know, like there's no other really time of the year where there's music specifically for that time of year, really. At least not off the top of my head. Like there's vibes, like you get like more happier vibes for the summer if you want to do that, but like so like Christmas music.
But it's not like July, you bumping like Mariah Carey.
I will though. I will bump like Christmas in July is a real vibe. Like I will listen to Christmas music in July for sure. Nah, I do. Like I really do. Really? I did. Like last year I was listening to it, especially during the pandemic. We was in the crib. I was playing that shit.
Yeah, I mean, if it comes on, but I know I won't go search for it. That's my thing. Like it just kind of has to happen.
Yeah, it's a personal thing. I like it. You know, I feel like I just love Christmas, man. It's just one of my favorite times of year. So like I love the music personally. But a lot of people.
Do you have a fake tree or a real tree?
We always get fake trees my whole life. We couldn't afford like no real trees back in the day. And now like growing up we had animals and pets, and now we like everybody still got animals, like so not fucking with fake trees. I mean with real trees. And I hear like real trees got like bugs and all type of shit.
So me and my family have gotten a real tree pretty much every year. This year was the first Christmas with no tree. You know, my mom with the pandemic, she's on it. She not playing no shit.
Damn.
4 people over the house for Christmas. If I had to tell you the regulations, I love you. But if I had to tell you the regulations, you thought my mom worked for the CDC, bro. It's no joke. It's
the
no
CDC,
joke.
I shouldn't even say nothing because they gonna get the video flag. Go ahead.
But like my mom, you can let that shit fly. I don't care.
Nah.
But my mom, she made it a habit to always get real trees. Always. And I spent Christmas with my girl this time around. And so because I spent Christmas with my girl, we actually didn't even she actually told me, like, I just learned this year that actually black people actually don't get real trees a lot. Yeah, no. That's a real thing. Black people, I'm one of the few black families that actually gets like real trees.
That's crazy.
Yeah, no, I think I'm gonna keep it a tradition though, personally, just because like me and my dad, and it's so crazy. Like we would just go up the street to a fucking gas station.
I like the vibe, like the aura, the whole aesthetic of a real tree. Definitely encapsulates the essence of Christmas for sure. The smell, the whole vibe. Like when I see a fucking real tree, I'm fascinated. I'm like, you have a real fucking Christmas tree in your crib, and it's decorated and it's big and it's fire. But me personally, I haven't. Probably when I get like my own, like, you know, nice crib and I could really do like spend money and do that shit, I'll probably definitely get like a real tree. But I gotta make sure I'm not a bug person, bro. So like
me either, bro.
Bringing a tree from outside is like the concept. I just started thinking about that this year. I was like, yo, they're really bringing trees that grow outside into their house for like a month.
Yeah. Facts. I don't think we ever had bugs. One thing issue that always he had was that the pine cones always fell off.
Mm.
The pine, not pine cones, whatever. Y'all know what the fuck I'm talking about. The pines always fall off the tree, and if you're not wearing socks or shoes, they get stuck in your feet. And then I gotta sweep it up, and then when we put the tree, will be on carpet, so I gotta vacuum up the carpet, and I gotta vacuum a bunch of times. So that was always a pain. But other than that, bro, I love Christmas.
No, yeah, Christmas is the shit, bro.
What do you think is the greatest gift you ever gotten,
Oh man.
or the greatest gift you ever received?
Mm. I don't know. I never really put no like stock into
Mhm.
what I'm getting.
Mhm.
You know, we didn't grow up with much, so it wasn't a thing of like I learned very young to take the value out of the gift and put it into the just the overall principle of the holiday. So the fact that I get to wake up on Christmas and be with my family is like the gift. You feel me?
Mhm.
Especially coming up with my pops coming home, so it's gonna be like really Christmas again, like, or at least for me. So like that's the I guess the best gift is like actually being there. Cause like all that other material shit is cool, bro, but I guess like one time when I was a shorty, I got a
Two, probably.
PS2. I got a PS2 and my brother cut the cords on me because he didn't get a PS2.
He cut?
Yeah, but we was shorties and like we were like fighting and
Fuck yeah.
but you know, so but that taught me a lesson too, because that was like shattered my Christmas and I was like, damn, I can't play my PlayStation. But you know, put me through some tribulation right there. So I don't really value like what you're getting me. Like if as long as if you think about me, man, I value that. Like, you know, just think about me. That's it. Some sentiment, you know.
Yeah. Do those principles cross over into your daily life, not just on Christmas?
Yeah, for sure. But like anybody else, I do appreciate nice stuff though. You know what I'm saying? So but yeah.
100%. Now, it's as like it's also easy to see people who don't value those things.
Yeah.
And it kind of shows you. I feel like those are the people, like we talked about earlier, with like kind of bad perspective. They're always stressed out about little shit.
Mm-hmm.
And they don't understand things. I know I was like that for a while. Like I was always worried about what I don't have. And are people not listening to this more? Are people not doing this more? Instead of, valuing what I got. And I feel like it kind of makes you happier.
Yeah. I think a lot of people go through that. I think that's a part of existing. But yeah, once you start realizing all of that, bro, you start realizing like you said, what makes you like really happy, like what fulfills you for real, you know?
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, for sure.
When has there ever been a time in your life where your principles got tested?
All the time. Yeah, and when you grow up in the environment I grew up in, shit like values, morals, principles, every day you gotta like fight that shit, and you gonna sink. You gonna fold and fight into the temptations a lot when you like at that stage. So yeah.
What side of the city did you grow up on?
I grew up. I lived all over, so I bounced around a lot, but I like really spent most of my time in Little Village.
Little Village. Now I'm not from the city at all.
So that's like so like I spent most of my time in one like area. So Little Village, Pilsen, and Brighton Park is where I lived the most. So that's like all Southwest, and they're all like right next to each other. Yeah. Predominantly Mexican neighborhoods. Yeah, so that's where I grew up, like the Southwest area. But I went to school all over. I lived on the north side for a little bit, like towards Humboldt Park. All over. I lived like more out west. The only place I never lived was the only place I never lived was over east. Like, cause that shit is like it's too far.
It's like downtown, right?
No. It's far, bro. What the fuck is east of us? Is that Indiana?
Like Michigan, and then it's Indiana, yeah.
That's where the east side is. Like
Indiana?
It's east. So like all the shit that way.
Yeah. Oh, okay.
It's far, bro. Like you gotta like
Cause when I think of east, I think downtown.
No,
it's
hell
right next
no.
to the lake.
There's an east part of downtown, I guess. The east part of downtown.
Yeah.
But nah.
Like Navy Pier would be like mad east, because that's right on like the fucking lake.
Like there's like the South Loop and shit like that, like downtown, and I don't even really go downtown, so I don't really but I know that the east side is not downtown at all. Over east is like it's just so far. Like I never really been there. I've been there like a couple times.
Yeah. I kind of wish that, because I was born in the city, right?
Mm-hmm.
But we lived in Calumet. But then once we left there, we came here. And I kind of, sometimes I wish I grew up in the city, sometimes I wish I didn't, because I feel like I missed out on a lot of good things. But
From not living in the city?
yeah. But then also here I missed out on a lot of bad things. Would you say your time in the city has more good or bad?
I don't know if I could say one or the other.
Mm-hmm.
It goes back to perception and perspective. What do you view? Like, some people view the glass half empty. Some people see it half full. Me personally, I just see it full. There's half of it might be air, half of it might be water, you know? So it's really how you see things. Like, you could look at the news from the other night, the guy that drove around shooting people all day. You know what I'm saying? For no fucking reason.
Nuts.
Like, do you want to live there?
Yeah.
But then in that same city is like something so beautiful, like I don't know, man, the same city that birthed Barack Obama, you know?
Yeah.
So it's like, you know, it's all about the way you choose what you want to do with your life, you know? So Chicago has good and it has bad, like anything else. Just live, man. I don't really try to, when you in this shit for real, like, if you let that shit manifest and just eat up your brain all day, like, we don't really be thinking about that shit for real. Like, we were born on edge. You know what I'm saying? Like, the way we move, that's just how we are. It's like embedded in our DNA. So we don't really, like, I don't ever find myself thinking like, oh, I live in, like what you was talking about, like, I live in, this place I live in is so bad compared to how good it is all the time, because we've already kind of accepted it. You know what I'm saying? It's just what it is. So the way I think about it is, this is where I'm at. This is where I've always been. And I'm just trying to continuously improve it. And one day I hope to get some money so I could really put some money into the city, like the places that need it, you know? To, like, really put some fucking footwork behind what I'm saying. So,
how has the city changed you?
The city made me, you know? The city made everything from top to bottom, bro. So, it's just shaped me in every way, shape, and form, bro. I don't know how I could say, like, how specifically. I attribute everything that I am to what Chicago has made me become and things it made me do.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. Now, doing research on you and speaking to you before, you often talk about, like, you know, just different things that you've experienced growing up and how that's molded you to be you. And I know if you follow your career and if you know, there have been a good share of, like, negative experience that you look back on. You're like, damn, like, what the fuck? Have you been able to reap the positives from any of those yet? Or are you still kind of, like, feeling the negative effects of those?
What do you mean, like, in specific?
Like, I know you've talked about, you know, being in the trap a lot and, you know, growing up in certain parts of the city and seeing, you know, one of your close friends die right next to you when you were in the car, you getting grazed by a bullet. Yeah. They often say there's a silver lining in anything. Have you seen that silver lining yet? Do you feel like?
Now I do. I didn't before for none of that shit. Especially, like, when we was growing up, like, we was in the trap all day, every day. Like, we was living in that bitch. And, like, now I'm feeling it. Like, for real, I'm feeling it. And all the guys, we be talking about it, like, we was just living, like, I don't know, that shit was like a movie. When I get rich, Hollywood's gonna see that movie. Like, they gonna get my pitch for that. Cause what we was doing, we had a whole funeral home, bro. Like, so, and we was in that bitch. We was living in that bitch, like, 6 years. 5-6 years, so.
Really?
Yeah, we was in that bitch. It was busting, but unhealthy, bro. Super unhealthy. Not just physically, mentally too. We was so I like to think like that energy was a lot of the reason why my music kind of was like my career, I mean, you know? So but I think about it now and I ponder and I reflect on it and I just learn from a lot of it. And you get good memories when you think about shit too, so.
Yeah, that's true. Cause I'm sure sometimes we're fun.
Oh, we had so much fun.
Yeah.
We had so much fun, man.
Like, the thing is, though, with certain shit that's fun, is that sometimes it's not always good for you. Like you laugh right now. I'm sure you think of some shit that you did or that happened, but just looking back at it, it's like, damn, it kind of affected me in a bad way.
Yeah. Well, so however something's gonna affect you, I think it's gonna affect you regardless. So if it was affecting me negative then, I'm looking at it now in a positive light so I can take from it and still learn from it, even if it happened however long ago it happened, you know? So it's all up to you what you want to do, like, you know? Like, I know, like, there's certain things like I do now, like the way I am with women, the way I am with my money, like the way I am with drugs and alcohol, all that shit. It's like, I don't repeat the way, like, why would I take the same steps that I fucking deteriorated on? Like, so all the habits and the patterns that I used to follow and rules I used to go by back then, I completely had to switch it because, you know, as you get older, you realize shit's just not the move. It's just not the way you want to live your life. So it's just what I've been doing is just kind of looking at it and just kind of taking it, studying myself and shaping how I want to move forward.
It's hard to come back from a lot of those things, though.
Yeah, don't get me wrong, though. Like, I'm not, like, I'm just thinking about the good right now because I hate thinking about the trauma. But, like, yeah. Some of that shit, it's, like, some people don't make it out. Like, some people don't, like, I was just at a podcast the other day, and I was talking about how, like, I real deal didn't think I would be this age that I am right now. Like, so I didn't plan to get this far. So now that I'm this far, I'm altering my life completely. Like, I'm changing everything. Like, if you see, I just quit smoking cigarettes. Like, I don't drink pop. I don't drink alcohol. Like, I'm getting my whole health, everything situated because never in a million years, G. I never thought it. Like, cause we was just in it. It was just in the moment. Like, how could I say it? Like, it's kind of like what I was just talking about. When you're just in something so much, it's like playing sports. When you're in there, it's just like almost second nature, like muscle memory. So when you're in this shit, like, you don't even realize till you get a chance to sit and think. And sometimes when you're in Chicago and you're doing all this crazy shit or whatever, like living this life, getting fucked up, you don't even really remember or like could really sit here and have a honest depiction of what the fuck is going on, you know? So you really gotta try to survive. And then if you do survive, I think especially like what Gilly the Kid said, you know, if you're one of the chosen ones and you actually get a chance to make it and survive, like not make it like financially, make it like you get a chance to live and people fuck with you, like that's something what he said really hit me hit home and hit me in the heart because, like, I was like, man, I was taking that shit for granted, too. Like, as an artist, as a person, like, I had to go look at a family photo, and I'm like, damn, I'm the only artist in this picture. I'm the only, like, entrepreneur in this picture. I'm the only one that I feel is, like, on that Steve Jobs, you know, wavelength, that Kanye wavelength, that Jay-Z, that mogul billionaire status, let's do something and let's change the world status. So my family might not get that from our bloodline. You know what I'm saying? Again, so I'm here. Let me turn the fuck up. You feel me? So everybody could reap the rewards for this shit because we already invested so much. And like I said, I never planned to I real deal never planned to survive this shit. Like, I shouldn't even say survive, but like I wasn't expecting to die, but I had no expectations. Like when people, if you go look at my interviews back in the day, like you hear me say it all the time, I have no expectations. Like I don't like that shit because I'm the same person that at 10 years old, like at 10 years old, I went to hockey practice and I came home and my dad is gone for 25 years. So like I realized how fast shit could just switch up on you. You feel me? So once you start learning all that shit and you start taking into consideration, bro, you just learn a lot, you know? Like, and it's a lot of shit that you just can't learn that shit in the classroom, bro. Like, nobody could really teach you that shit. It's just that teacher, that life teacher, that person, that entity that's just bigger than any person, that'll teach you the most. So, yeah.
Life is probably the best teacher, but that shit suck. That shit hurt.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna lie. I'm learning some.
But it's beautiful too. One thing I tell everybody, like, man, we so focused on the bad because that's in our human nature, but life is miraculous. Life is full of abundance, bro.
Life is beautiful, bro.
Yeah. we're making it so difficult for ourselves, bro.
Well, how do you think we do that?
Human nature, cunning, deceitful, manipulative, greed, all the bad shit. We're doing it to ourselves, bro. We have the option to do good or do bad. You know?
Yeah.
So regardless of our why we're doing those things, we're still choosing to do the bad more than the good. So, and I ain't trying to get all like, I'm not a religious person. Like, I'm not
I hear
like,
you.
I never read the Bible. When I went to like, they tried to get me to go to CCD or whatever the fuck that shit was called, like to make your communion and shit. Like, I was like,
Is that Catholic?
I don't know.
I've never heard of it.
Whatever my family is, I think they're Catholic.
Okay.
Yeah, like I never believed in that shit. So, and I just started being a faithful person, having faith, like last year.
Faith in what though?
In something bigger than me, something beyond me, something an otherworldly entity, you know, something that is just far more complicated than I could wrap my head around, but it's clearly in this bitch.
Yeah.
You know?
So you don't want to. Maybe I know you say you're not a religious person, so maybe you don't want to call it God. Or
I call it God.
Okay.
But maybe other people don't.
So everyone looks at things differently. Like
it's my God.
Facts, and I think that when people talk about faith, they feel like, oh, you're either Christian or you're Catholic or you're Muslim or whatever the case may be, whatever you may believe in. Not trying to shit on any of them, but I feel like when people put those religions there, they expect you to fit into that box instead of just saying, I have faith in whatever you want to have faith in.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, I feel like sometimes with religion, there's no individuality.
And that goes back to what I said about human nature.
Mm-hmm.
That's so contradictory, bro. You want me to buy into your religion so much, but you're so against their religion? What makes you different from them other than your beliefs? They're so passionate about what they believe as well. Like, and I don't know how religions work if they're like arch enemies. But that's just the vibe I get. Like, they don't fuck with each other. Yeah. Obviously, if you think your world is fucking directly, like, because of this religion, you're not going to agree with people that think your religion is, like, not true. And so,
yeah.
But I've never been a person to, like, jump on board for religion. I always looked at churches and all that shit like, I don't get what's going on here. Mm-hmm. Like, it's again, bro, like, it's just something going on here that's just, I'm not fucking with it.
Like would you call it a sixth sense or like a gut feeling?
Yeah, like that's very intuitive. I'm a very intuitive person, but like, even as a kid, I felt that. Like, even if it's not that there's something very like, maniacal being orchestrated, you're not telling us the truth. You are lying to us. I'm in class raising my hand like, why this? What does this mean? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like,
you were that
tell
kid.
Me some shit. Yeah, because you're not. Yeah. I'm not finna pray because you're telling me to.
I agree. Yeah.
Why do I have to pray? Yeah. What is the purpose? Why is this right? Like, stop trying. Well, I'm a kid, yeah, but I'm not fucking stupid. Mm-hmm. So it is what it is, man. And I think you have to probably dive into a religion to like really understand and grasp it. Mm-hmm. So I like created my own religion for myself, and I have a ton of faith in myself. I have a ton of faith in my God and what I believe in, and I'm rocking that way. So
I hear you, and I completely agree because I think that we all go through a phase where we learn things growing up, and we're like, okay, this and this. But I feel like in order to grow, you have to have a questioning period. Mm-hmm. Whether because some people question different things. Some people question religion. Some people question their sexuality. Some people question the government. Everyone goes through, I think, a period where they just got to figure out what the fuck is going on. Mm-hmm. But I feel like it's necessary, though. I feel like you just went through yours a lot younger.
Yeah. No, I definitely did.
Yeah.
And I still go through it now. Like, I feel like that's a part of my nature. And it could be trauma. It could be PTSD because I've been lied to and so much shit is flipped upside down in my life all the time since I was a kid. Like, I could trace trauma back to all the way when I was born. Like, I was born into a crazy life. So that I say, that would do that. That will make you kind of be that way. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
What do you think? If you want to speak on like certain things, you absolutely can. But like, what do you think made your life so crazy?
Just everything, bro. Like, from my pops getting locked up, like, to me, almost dying, to seeing somebody die. Like, when I was fucking, what was that, like 8, maybe 9?
That was when your friend got shot?
No. This dude didn't even die from no violence. Like, he was playing around with fireworks.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, but like that's still traumatizing.
Yeah,
Like,
facts.
I remember seeing his brain on the floor. Like, he put a quarter stick in the pump, and he didn't put the cap on.
Dynamite?
Yeah, and it blew off, and it blew the cap, and it was nasty, man. And it's shit like that you just can't unsee that shit. And that shit that you gotta see, like when you grow up in Chicago, that's just shit that you see. Like, just happen to see that shit. Like, seeing people get shot, seeing people die. It's just natural. Like, it's just normal shit. So the trauma goes back, like I said, all the way. There's not one thing that I could pinpoint and be like, this did that, or like this was the pivotal moment. It's a kind of a buildup of a bunch of shit. But I stopped complaining, bro, because like Chicago, man, like everybody's going through it, bro. Like, it's some people that got it worse. You know? It's people in my family that got it worse. So just is what it is. I've kind of accepted what Chicago is and what it has done to us, like, or like us as Chicago people. And like I said, my whole goal is to change what like the future looks like for us, for our city and our people, citizens.
Definitely. I think that as much as, and one thing I've had to learn, like we say, like Chicago is an issue there. Growing up in Chicago was that way, but I also feel like sometimes we got to look at the bigger picture and understand why things are that way. The government damn near controlled everything in this country.
Oh, they don't give a fuck about us. They didn't care when they never cared. They still don't care. So
I look at it like this. I notice everyone always talks about this, and it's kind of a worn on topic. I've been talking about it for years, but you look at Tupac and Biggie. Been dead 96 and 97. Since 96, 97, yeah. Still ain't found the killers. But yet they'll find somebody for some really petty shit that happened a long time ago. So I think that they definitely make choices that they deem as the good or the bad, like a necessary evil or some bullshit like that, to try to make things work in their favor for the country. So when I hear about situations like yours or people who may have grown up in rough spots, moved around, like grew up in the hood, I really look at it as that's the country's fault. Whether it be capitalism, whether it be racism, whether it be redlining, like.
But they'll never take responsibility.
Ever.
We're the ones that have to live and die in these places. So, one thing that I learned about life, just reading a lot, and life experience, nobody's gonna come save you, man. You have to save yourself. That's just the world that we live in, especially in our country. We have it better than a lot of places, but our country is the epitome of human. Like, racism, like the mass shootings, like, our country is human, flawed, like, deceitful, bogus, like, just bad, vile, vile and violent, and just disgusting, bro. So, and I don't know if you could blame that on just our government, because that's human, like I say, like even other places, but our government is responsible, even if they won't take responsibility for what they set us up in. And but even though that's the case, we have to own that, and we have to get ourselves out of this shit. So however we got to do that, so, but I don't like to blame the government, even though they are the ones that are doing this to us. The moment we start getting into that victim mentality, you just dive deeper into it. You just keep finding other ways to excuse this and justify that. And I just like to just fight that shit, and let's just go. Let's go change some shit then.
I agree. Facts. And one thing I love is that as society has become not woke, because that shit is bullshit, but as we are becoming smarter and we're understanding educated, I feel like as much as that's going up, one thing that's going up that I love is therapy. Therapy and, being more mindful about things, just openly talking about shit is definitely kind of a necessary thing at a time like this. Whether it be last year because of the pandemic in 2020, or even the shit me you just talking about, with the way that you came up and stuff like that. I feel like therapy is definitely something that I feel like everyone should invest in, especially because with everything on our phones, everything's in front of our face. We see everything that happens.
Yeah, we're living in one of the craziest times, probably the craziest time ever. Especially with the implementation of internet and technology.
Mm-hmm.
There's no precedent for how to live in this world. Not to say that there hasn't been in any other one, but at least generations before there was kind of. You know what I'm saying?
But some of those precedents were also like those precedents and stereotypes or ideas that you should live in were kind of bullshit. Like,
oh, for sure. But what I'm saying though is people knew how to be a human being in those societies. Now it's like there's little kids having existential crises because of this, because of they're being fed so much shit. It's just overwhelming. That's why all these kids are fucking anxious and hyper, and not to mention what the fuck they're doing to them. Like I heard kids now got to get like 50 shots.
50. I definitely got a good like 6.
They get like they have to get like hella shots now, and they have to keep coming and get them like and even what they give us in school, what they feed us, like, you know, is not healthy. So
yeah,
I think a lot of this stuff, like therapy is essential. I think talking about things, being communicating things well is essential. But I think a lot of this comes down to education and health, and I think therapy is a testament to that, because all they're really doing is talking to you and helping you. And you know what I'm saying? Helping you get through it and understanding what the hell is going on. So, and another problem is a lot of these psych doctors, psychiatrists, psychologists. Look, man, I get it, bro. Everybody got to have a job.
Mm-hmm.
But these people in particular are playing with people's lives, their livelihood, their mental stability. That can go in turn affect whole families, whole people, like whole, you know what I'm saying? Decisions are being made while these people are on so many drugs. And I'm just so tired of the antidepressants, so tired of the benzodiazepines, so tired of all these drugs getting pushed towards kids and people as opposed to healthy habits, healthy living environments, healthy conversations, healthy communication, healthy relationships with people, education, critical thinking skills. You know, things that you would deem very basic
and necessary.
That 99% of people absolutely lack. And that's why they're panicking. That's why, you know, and even me, like, even talking about this, I can identify some of these things in myself, but that doesn't mean that I've mastered it. So that's part of the reason why I can identify it, is because I notice it in my shit. Like, oh shit, you know? So, but like, even with me, it's another reason why I'm taking my health and just trying to take my life into my own hands, is because it just goes back to what I said, bro. If you don't, nobody's gonna save you. Nobody's gonna come do anything for you. So I really think that shit starts with like how we're treating each other, how we're raising our children, the types of decisions we make when we bring people into the world. And I think it's just a chain reaction. It's like a cycle of all of that, just going back and forth and around and around. So
what do you think can kind of change that? I know you can't solve all the world's problems. I don't think anybody can. But like, what do you think could maybe change these things? Like, one idea I have, and this is definitely kind of drastic, and it may not work out exactly because it's kind of harmful actually. It's just, I wish that, you know, like we get a winter break from school where we used to 2 weeks. I think that we should get that, but from all social media. I think it'd be nice if all social media sites shut down for like a week, maybe 2 weeks, completely.
I can't fuck with that.
You know, exactly. And I say that it's a very drastic thing to do because like people run their businesses off of that. You're an artist. We promote our shit actually through social medias, and with Instagram, Twitter, LinkedIn, whatever the case may be. It's become necessary. We've become dependent on it, but at the same time, it's so fucked up for us.
So I don't think there's necessarily a right way to do things.
Mm-hmm.
I just don't think that we live in a capitalistic society.
Yeah.
So obviously the money and shit makes everything go around. So that's why people kind of care about the money aspect. I really just think people have to just start being better and making better decisions, including myself. I fuck up all the time, man. I'm flawed like everybody else. I make bad decisions. I've made really bad, drastic decisions that have, affected not only my life, other people's lives. We have to learn and we have to be better. Like, just simple. Everybody has to hold themselves accountable. And if not, like, we just gonna be here like this and we can't complain about it because we not doing nothing about it.
Yeah.
Everybody complaining, bro, but nobody's really doing nothing. I want to get rich. You want to know why I want to get rich? Because I want to invest in schools. I want to make my own schools, bro. I want these kids to learn what they should be learning and not what somebody deems necessary for them to be learning just because of whatever fucking laws there are or people lobbying to get certain shit passed. Like, no, let's figure out what the fuck people really need to know to not just survive, flourish, because we live in a world of abundance. Like Elon Musk has so much money right now. You know what I'm saying? And I don't think we should take any money away from him and give it to us. I'm saying let's teach everybody how to get their own money. Let's teach everybody how to be the best version of themselves. You know what I'm saying? Not everybody's gonna go get $1 billion. But we don't have to be poor and suffering. You know what I'm saying? To be financially literate on a basic level can make you go from being absolutely poor to like $50,000 a year. Good job, decent. You know what I'm saying? At least, you know what I'm saying?
You'll be able to survive.
Yeah, you'll be able to flourish though. Because then if you have good credit, you can also go get, stuff. You know what I'm saying? Like, we need to be... I know there's an attack on capitalism. I know that people fucking hate that shit. And I think it's the same thing with the music industry. People hate record labels and hate these deals. I don't hate a record label. I don't hate a record deal. I don't like people making these fucking deals. I don't like the people that are sitting in some of these seats sometimes. But that can change. You get what I'm saying? And that's kind of where I'm at with that shit. Like, we have to start doing something, bro. Like, even just me coming on here speaking it. You know what I'm saying? If I don't have money to go start a school, bro. But if I did, you better believe that I would have a fucking school right now. To the best that I could. You know what I'm saying? Like, however long, I don't know how long this shit takes. But shout out Bron, you feel me? He got his school.
That's what I've been thinking of since you brought it up, man.
Yeah, but like, like, I just think, bro, we live in abundance. Like, it's like when I say that, like, one dude got $100 and some billion. If that don't inspire you, I don't know what will, because I read a story about, and I don't know how true this is, about when Elon sold, I think he sold PayPal, and he invested all the money into SpaceX, Tesla, and whatever company he got, and he borrowed money for rent. And it's like,
damn,
dude was like really with this shit.
Balls in.
Yeah, you
I
feel
didn't
me?
know that.
So he invested all his money and like took a loan or borrowed money for rent. So it's like, so he could live, like just at his crib, because he understood what he was going after. You know what I'm saying? And he probably had a crazy ass strategy behind it. He's smart, So, but now there's a person thinking like that. And then there's people that are thinking like, let me go rob this person. I don't know how I'm gonna get no money today, so I have to go shoot somebody or rob a lady. Or like the dude the other day, I don't know what his life situation is. I don't know what was wrong with him, but he felt like he had to go kill a bunch of people for no fucking reason. We need to think better, man. And I think it really starts with, some of these people are anomalies. You know what I'm saying? It wasn't written in the stars. Like, I mean, it probably was written in the stars, but it wasn't like a planned thing. Like, his parents didn't come out and say, okay, this is Elon Musk, this is my child,
Yeah.
At whatever, at this age, he's going to be a billionaire. At this age, he's going to be the most richest man in the world. Like, no. You know what I'm saying? It just happened that way. But I do think we can assist people better towards success. I think that we're setting, especially people in Chicago, people that I grew up around, all of us were set up for failure. And a lot of them did. A lot of them are in jail or dead or they're broke. You know what I'm saying? Especially right now in the pandemic, we don't even have healthy money management habits. During the pandemic, the government should be assisting us, but we should be prepared for in some way, shape, or form at some level, even if it's on a very small level. We should be thinking about preparing ourselves for something out of our control. You know what I'm saying? Proper Proper preparation prevents poor performance. Yeah. So like, we're molding people every day. We're just building a society, and I feel like for the longest, especially in certain areas, we're building a cancerous society. And yeah, you could blame it on the government, because really it's them doing this shit, but they're not finna come get us out. So if we want to get out, we got to start making some changes, man. But I'm gonna do it once I get some money for real. I got a lot of shit planned, bro.
I'm looking forward to it. Do you want to say any of these plans or these dreams?
Hell no, because they're gonna come steal my shit.
I feel you. I feel you completely. Now you brought up everything you said was great. One thing that stuck out to me, and someone want to add, especially because you grew up the way you grew up. You mentioned the example of someone having to go rob somebody, right? At what point in time do you think the line becomes, I only do this because it's the only thing I know how to do, but also there's a knowledge of making better decisions? When do you think that time comes? Because sometimes people only know one thing. That person may only know robbing people, but at the same time, you have someone say like me, for example, who may not have grew up like that, where I know there's other options besides going to do that. Do you ever think this person like reaches that point where they can make the decision to do one or the other? Not saying I'm better than anybody, but
so one thing you said is you kind of knew one thing was wrong and to do better.
Correct.
I think most of these people have a good idea of good and bad.
Yeah.
Like you said though, sometimes, bro, you feel deep down in your heart you have to do something, and there's nothing else that you might need some rent money, bro, and there's no other way that you could do this. Your baby might need some shit. There ain't no way, ain't no other way you could come up on some money right now. Sell some drugs, rob somebody.
I hear you.
It's like, and I've been there, bro. Like, I know what that feels like, to feel like you have no option. But I know it's cliche, bro, but there's a better way to do things. I really think if we invested a lot of our energy and resources and intelligence and education, those people might creatively think of another way to get that money.
Yeah. 100%.
Other than force and violence, because that's all we see and that's what we grow up on. So, and that could be like, it's almost like that example that you use is kind of like what I was talking about. Like, the kids in the city don't know what the fuck to do. And then you're like from the suburbs and like, I wouldn't do that shit. That shit is not smart. But at that point, when you're in that, bro, I'm telling you, it's a real war zone, G. And smart is out the window. Unless you're like talking about lacking and like talking about the way you move. You feel me? But think about like 10 years down the road, like this is gonna, consequences and shit like that. Like, you in this shit right now, right here. And a lot of times it's life or death. You know what I'm saying? And then when you make a decision to rob somebody, like that's what you decided to do, and now you have to do that. And now that shit can go any way.
We can change subject anytime you want.
But I'm just saying, like, that shit could go any way. And like I said, you just not think about consequences. Somebody could die right there. Somebody could, all type of shit could happen. So I think that, man, like I said, I was a kid in these schools, bro. I was a kid in these places, and I was noticing that shit at that age. Like, we're not thinking. Like, obviously everybody collectively thinks this shit is cool, but this shit is not cool. We just think it's cool because this is what we're in.
Yeah. Were you ever mad at music? Because, like, hip-hop music, I used to, when I was a little more ignorant, I used to get upset at hip-hop because I used to feel the same exact way you feel. And I still do. But I used to partially blame it on rappers. I used to be like, oh, well, if they didn't rap about this, people wouldn't do this. And this, and this. But then, like, I don't know. I just kind of realized they were only talking about their conditions.
Yeah, bro. It's like that's all they know.
Yeah.
That's literally like if you go to some of these places and talk to some of these people, it's mind blowing, bro. Like the way that just life is for in these places, in these certain neighborhoods, you know? And it's just crazy. I just went on a whole different track in my mind. What were you just saying?
I was just saying like, fuck, what the fuck was I saying? I was saying music.
Oh yeah. No, I can't blame. I never blamed music.
I definitely used to. One person I used to blame a lot that we talked about.
Future.
Man.
I think like I said, it's just disconnect, man. I think people don't get it. I think if you're not from it, you'll never get it. Ever. Like and I just think that that's just the way it is. And it's kind of like the similar thing where like somebody from the hood is not necessarily gonna just be like the number one most avid country fan, you know, and just want to listen to like I don't know who Keith Urban, I guess. Like just
Blake
run
Shelton or whatever.
Yeah, run that shit back. No, it's like I don't understand what that is, you know?
Right.
And then I think it's another thing of the culture of hip hop with it's such a fucking what's the word I'm trying to use? It's
Cluster of things.
no, it's a very trendy
Popular.
it moves fast.
Yeah.
It's very hard to keep up
It
with.
controls the wave now.
Yeah. And it determines what's hot in almost every other genre as well. So it's hard to like even understand what some of these artists are saying if you're not in this shit and you're not in tune. Like somebody like Lil Durk, like one of my favorite rappers, he has a new nickname for himself almost like every year. You know what I'm saying? So it's like if you don't listen to his music, you're gonna be like, why the fuck is this guy keep calling himself a bunch of different shit? Or like, you know, or like if you hear people like Future saying, you know, all this shit about drugs and this, that, and the third, or like these younger artists saying that, you might think this kid is trying to get all these kids to do drugs and this, that, and the third. But maybe go look at that kid's life.
Yeah.
Like when I was like, bro, let me not use me. There's artists that, let's use Lil Peep.
Rest in peace.
One of my favorite artists ever. He was really living his songs. Like, maybe not to the degree of, so obviously lyrics are exaggerated sometimes, but he was sad, man. He was taking a lot of drugs because he was down, you know what I'm saying? And it's not like he wasn't trying to get kids to be like that as well. He was just showing people, this is how I am. And I know there's a bunch of people just like me. I'm giving myself to you. Hopefully I can help you. And he helped me. I know he helped me. So, you know, whether the way you view him or his death, you know what I'm saying? I think he died for something bigger than music. I think he died for something bigger than all of that shit, man, because he helped a lot of people. And I think that's what the message is in the music, is just giving your story, your version of what this shit is. And as long as you're not like in the song telling people to go do some like foul shit, like, hey kids, go rob the person on the corner, and like, because I think you should do that. Like, no,
Yeah.
like a lot of us are just like really like a dispatcher from the streets, like, or from our conditions. Some people ain't even really in the street like that. Some people are just in a fucked up situation and they're just explaining it. You know what I'm saying? And it might sound like they're trying to influence people, but they're really just pouring their heart out. And I think that's where a lot of it is. Some people, though, are being irresponsible. I'll give you that. Like, some people are irresponsibly just not good artists. They're not like, they're just chasing a bag, maybe might be in it for the wrong reasons. But I think you could kind of sense that of who those people are. You know what I'm saying? So
They weed themselves out.
yeah. But somebody like, you know, like some of these big artists, I don't think they're exploiting people, you know what I'm saying, at the expense of what they could, you know, gain from it. I think they're giving themselves to the people. And it's a raw form of art like anything else.
What artists you think is really giving themselves to the people? If you got any examples.
Future, Thug, in terms of that, like the
I mean, overall in general, not just like Future and Thugs,
Oh,
like genres.
I think,
overall artistry.
I mean, if you're an artist, you have to give yourself. If you really truly want to succeed as a creative, as a musician, like we need to feel that shit. So I think all of them really. Obviously, the ones that aren't, you could tell. So I'm not listening to them. Honestly, I'm just not listening to them. I'm not paying it no mind. So I'm not listening to shit I can't feel.
Yeah. And that goes back to what we talked about, how you're saying, certain rappers are dispatchers from the streets. As humans, we only go to things that we see ourselves in. So like me, for example, like that's one thing why I never really clicked with Future. As much as it was like the actual sound of his music, the actual way he comes off, more some stuff is like what he was talking about. Like, that's just stuff that I can't relate to. I just didn't really understand at that point. And that's why I think that a lot of people, even including myself at one point in time, forgot that we're only going to listen to things that we relate to.
Yeah.
And I used to look at things a certain way, but not understand the deeper message behind it. Like, to my understanding, you listen to Future more than me, but there's a lot of pain in his music from what I've heard.
Hell yeah.
And even if you look at someone like NBA Youngboy, like, no matter whatever you want to say about his personal life, I don't give a fuck. We don't talk about that here. But if you look at his music, it's doing numbers, and he's talking about pain in that shit.